Hi, everybody. I'm Elida Zweidler-McKay with ZM Coach, where we're all about helping you take your career to the next level, whether that's moving up in your current organization or finding a better job somewhere else. So today I want to talk to you about how regret can hold you back in your career. And this is based on the work. There's a new book out by Daniel Pink called The Power of Regret. And for that book, Pink did all kinds of research on the different kinds of regrets that people have. He surveyed thousands of people here in the US and worldwide and sort of boiled it down to a framework of the different kinds of regrets that people can have over their lifetime. And as I was reading that book and kind of thinking about those different kinds of regrets, it occurred to me how many of them can come up in your career and really contribute to keeping you stuck. So we talk a lot in this in these videos about being stuck in your career, because one of the things that I really like to help people through is that feeling of not being able to move forward or not being able to get where they want to go. Something's holding them back. And often I think one of the things that can really hold people back is a sense of regret, whether that's holding them back because they're in denial about it and they're trying not to think about it. And it's like over there, but it still informs what's happening in their day-to-day lives, or because they're wallowing in it and they're stuck in it and they feel so bad about the experiences that they've had and the ways that they've let themselves or other people down that they're not able to kind of move past it, move through it, and get on to the next side. And Pink does a great job in his book of sharing some strategies. They're very similar to the kinds of work that I do with my clients. And sometimes reading about it in a book isn't enough, and having a coach or somebody who can help you through it is really valuable. So today I wanted to just share with you this kind of model, these different types of regret and how they can show up in your career. And then with the hopes that that's going to illuminate that for you. And if you're finding yourself stuck, you can get some help to move through those, move out of those, and move on to what's next for you. So the four kinds of regrets that Dan Pink shares in his book and in the things that he's done around the book. The first kind are the foundational regrets. And these are the regrets that come from not preparing for the future in some way. So they might be things like, that degree that you wish you had gotten, something big like that, life-changing. Or they could be something small, like not preparing enough for a meeting where you had an opportunity to present to senior leadership and you kind of blew it. So big picture or small picture, foundational regrets are those regrets that we have when we don't quite do enough to get ready for what's coming, or we don't quite do enough to prepare for the future. And this is one of those traps that I see clients fall into all the time. And it often comes from some anxiety. I know a lot of clients who kind of underprepare for big meetings, or underprepare for presentations, or underprepare for opportunities to talk with senior leadership. And as a result, they don't do as well in those settings as they could. And often what happens is that they have gotten themselves to a place where they're anxious. And so they don't want to think about it. They don't want to think about that session that they're going to be speaking at, or that conversation that they have an opportunity to go have with their boss. And so they sort of underprepare, and then they show up not quite ready, and then it doesn't go the way they want it to. And then there's that regret and sometimes real missed opportunities. So again, these are the kinds of things that a really good coach can help you move through, that anxiety, that denial, that avoidance. And then afterwards, the regret that might cause you to do those things again next time, so that you can really start with a clean slate and kind of show up and really prepare. And then the bigger foundational regrets around, the kind of schooling that you might have gotten, or the kind of path you might have gone on in your career. I've seen a lot of clients who end up, in this kind of career, and now they realize they're more interested in these kinds of things, and they feel like it's too late. And what I would say to that is, it's usually not. Like, it might be too late to go all the way over to that kind of career, but even in your 50s, you can still find ways to incorporate work that you enjoy into whatever it is that you're doing. So not every shift requires a wholesale uprooting of your entire career. Sometimes it just takes some creativity to figure out what parts of that other career are are the siren song for you? You know, what about that is interesting to you? And then can we find a way to creatively incorporate some of that into the direction you're already headed? So you don't have to throw out your entire, 20 or 30 years of experience, but you can still find something that's more meaningful or more valuable or more fulfilling for you. So those are a couple of ways that the foundation regrets can keep people stuck. And especially if they feel like I didn't go that direction, and so now I never can. I honestly believe it's never too late to find the direction that's going to be meaningful for you. Life can be short, life can be long. We never know, but why not be doing the stuff that you love along the way? So those are some of the things that we do around those foundation regrets, is really understand what's underneath it, what's getting in the way, what's got you stuck there, and can we find some creative solutions so that you don't have to keep holding on to that regret, and not only letting it go and kind of resigning yourself to your new reality, but really finding a way to incorporate whatever it is that you think you would have had if you'd gone that other path. The next kind of regret is obvious as it comes to careers, and those are boldness regrets. So those are the regrets we have for the risks that we haven't taken, the times we didn't step up, the times we didn't put ourselves out there. Again, a lot of my clients, a lot of people that I've ended up working with over the years have held themselves back a little bit. They've been a little shy, they've been a little nervous. They maybe have some issues with self-confidence, or some issues with, finding their voice and finding their style of leadership. And as a result, they don't take the kind of risks that are going to move them forward. And so part of what I work with clients on around that is really getting that self-confidence built up, and also identifying that sometimes what we think of as a big risk isn't really all that risky when we break it down. So there are ways that you can go into a situation that might seem risky at first and really not have it feel like a big risk at all, but just have it feel like a natural extension of what you're already good at or what you already know how to do. So boldness regrets are the regrets around not taking a risk. And one of the things that we do in our minds is we take new territory and we make it seem scarier and bigger and riskier than it really is. And then that contributes to kind of holding us back and keeping us from stepping forward in the ways that we could to really take our careers forward. So that's another way that we kind of undo that regret, kind of look at the boldness regrets. The third kind of regrets are moral regrets, and that's where we don't live up to our own ethical standards. I haven't dealt with that a whole lot, but it does happen occasionally that people feel like there's a moment where they should have said something and didn't, or they should have done something and didn't, or they did something that wasn't quite up to par for them. And so again, having really good strategies for how you can move through those regrets, really turn them into learning opportunities and turn them into a chance to take a stand for what you stand for, can be one way through that. And that's, again, some of the kinds of things that a good coach can help you do to move through and work through whatever that might be that's you're feeling bad about, or that's really holding you back. There's no reason that you can't find the lesson, learn from the past, vow to do better, and then step forward into a future for yourself. There's no reason to keep punishing yourself for a mistake that you've made. The opportunity is there for you to forgive yourself and move through that feeling, and then move on to being able to do bigger and better things. And I think the best way to overcome a kind of moral regret is to do good work out in the world. And there are a lot of opportunities and a lot of ways to do that. And so, hiding yourself and putting yourself into a box and not letting yourself step out and do something next is actually almost like compounding the sin of it, because then there's no chance for you to make the kind of contribution that you're here to make. So, if anybody is dealing with a moral regret that's keeping them from moving forward, I would love to move them through that so that they can really make the contribution to the world that they're meant to make next. Then the fourth kind of regret are the connection regrets, and those have to do with not maintaining the relationships that matter to us. This is a big one that can really hold you back in your career, because here's how this plays out. You work with somebody or you meet somebody, you make a really great connection, Maybe you worked really well together, you moved on, you went to a different company, they went to a different company. You haven't really seen each other for a while, and now you regret not staying in touch. You feel like if you did stay in touch, there might be ways that you could help each other, but it feels awkward and uncomfortable to do that. And so you don't. And over time, if you go through that pattern, over and over again, you end up just shrinking your network down to where there's hardly anybody that you could talk to or call or reach out to help you find those next opportunities or to help you move your ideas and initiatives forward. So getting rid of that connection regret and moving through the awkwardness of reaching out to somebody again after a while is one of the other pieces that's really important in your career. Because if you let yourself settle in the regret of losing connection, but you don't actually do something about it and get connected again, your network just shrinks to the point where you don't have people you can call in and lean on. And I have a story about that. I had to move through that regret once several years ago. I had met someone through a bidding process. We were both bidding for some work, and we made a really nice connection. She ended up getting the project. I didn't. That was okay with me. I offered help. We had some conversations about the client, and what I knew about the context that would help her be successful. And then we sort of lost touch. And so, it was the end of the year, and I sent her a note like, "Hey, it's the end of the year. Just thinking about you. Hope you're doing well." Didn't hear anything. The next year, end of the year, I'm doing the same thing, going through my Rolodex, thinking about, who haven't I talked to in a while. If I had wallowed in that regret of, "Ooh, it's been a year, I haven't said anything, I haven't heard anything," here's what would have happened. I did reach out. I said, "Hey, looks like it's been a year. I'm still thinking about you. How are things?" And it turned out at that moment, she actually needed the kind of work that I do and brought me in to work with her organization and her team. I did several months worth of work with them through a transition that was really important to them. And I wouldn't have had that opportunity had I settled in the connection regret of not keeping in better touch, or if I had made it mean something that she hadn't written back to me the year before. So again, this is the kind of thing that I help my clients move through, are these connection regrets where you've been in touch with somebody, you had a good connection, you've lost them. Now, how do you get back into touch with them without it feeling awkward and uncomfortable and like you're just there because you're asking them for something? And being able to move through that awkwardness is really key to maintaining a big professional network that's going to help you move forward and where you can help other people reach the kind of goals that they want to reach. So that's a lot. Just to sum it up, there are 4 kinds of regret that can come into your career and really have you stay stuck if you either deny them or live in them. Are the foundation regrets, not preparing for the future; boldness regrets, not taking a risk; moral regrets, not living up to your own ethical standard; and connection regrets, not maintaining the relationships that matter to you. And this is all from Daniel Pink's book, The Power of Regret. Pink is a great writer and a great speaker. If you have a chance to hear him or read his work, I recommend it. If you want some help figuring out how this applies in your own life, moving through the regrets that you're holding or that are holding you back, please reach out to us and let's have a conversation. We'll get on the phone for about 45 minutes, listen to your situation, talk to you about where you are, where you want to go, where we can help you move through regrets that might be holding you back. And if we can help you do that, we'll tell you what that would look like and get you started. And if we're not the right resources, we'll point you to someone else who is, because our goal is for every single person to be living their purpose, doing amazing work, feeling like they're going to work at places where they are fulfilled and enjoying what they're doing and making the kind of contributions they want to make. So if that speaks to you, get on the phone with us. You can do that at zmcoach.com/apply. We look forward to hearing from you. Take care.